The legends of Rome's founding. What do we really know about the founding of Rome? The exact truth is lost to time, unless someone invents a time machine. But what we do have is a rich collection of myths and legends. So, let's dive into what the ancient Romans themselves believed about the origins of their great city. According to most ancient sources, Rome was founded on April 21st, 753 BC. But the story begins long before that. At the turn of the 13th and 12th centuries BC, the Greeks burned the city of Troy. The surviving Trojans were told they could leave, taking only what they could carry. Their leader, the legendary hero Aeneas, chose not gold or treasure, but his elderly father Anchises, carried on his back, and the household gods, the Penates. After a long exile, Aeneas and his followers first landed in Macedonia, then on the island of Delos. There, an oracle prophesied that he would one day found a city destined to rule the world. Eventually, Aeneas arrived in Laurentum, a region in central Italy south of the Tiber. Weary from hunger and travel, the Trojans spotted cattle grazing nearby, seized them, and held a feast. The local tribe, the Aborigines, didn't take kindly to that, and rushed out with weapons, led by their king, Latinus. Yes, Aborigines is the actual name of the tribe, and it's where our modern word for native people comes from. After sizing up the situation, King Latinus decided it was wiser to unite than to fight. He offered peace. Aeneas married his daughter Lavinia and founded a new city, Lavinium, in her honor. There, the sacred Penates were placed in their new home. But not everyone was happy. Turnus, king of the Rutulians, had been promised Lavinia's hand. Outraged, he declared war on the Trojans and Aborigines. In the first battle, he was defeated, but King Latinus died in the fighting. To honor the fallen king, the Trojans and Aborigines merged into one people and began calling themselves Latins. Later, Turnus allied with King Mezentius of the Etruscan city of Caere. But even their combined forces were defeated. Eventually, Aeneas's son Ascanius came of age. Lavinium had grown overcrowded, so he founded a new city, Alba Longa, 20 kilometers to the east near Lake Albano. Ascanius's son, Silvius, became the founder of a royal dynasty that ruled Alba Longa for generations. One of its later kings, Procas, had two sons, Numitor and Amulius. By tradition, the elder, Numitor, should have taken the throne, but Amulius staged a coup, overthrew his brother, and took power. To prevent any future rivals, Amulius forced his niece Rhea Silvia to become a Vestal virgin, sworn to lifelong celibacy. But then, something unexpected happened. Rhea became pregnant. Who the father was is still debated. Some said it was Mars, the god of war. Others whispered that Amulius himself had assaulted her. Or maybe it was someone else entirely. And Rhea just named Mars to avoid punishment. Either way, she was treated leniently by ancient standards. Instead of being buried alive, she was imprisoned in chains. Her newborn twin sons, Romulus and Remus, were ordered to be drowned in the Tiber. But the river was flooded, and the servants couldn't reach the main current. So they left the twins in a trough on the shallow bank. As the water receded, the trough was left on dry land, where a she-wolf found the infants and nursed them. From that moment on, the wolf, especially the she-wolf, became a symbol of Rome. Later, the twins were found by a shepherd named Faustulus, who brought them home to his wife, Laurentia. Now, some claimed that the she-wolf was just a nickname for Laurentia herself, a woman known for her promiscuity. In Latin, lupa means both she-wolf and, colloquially, prostitute. Either way, the boys grew up, learned their true identity, and led a revolt in Alba Longa. They restored their grandfather Numitor to the throne and freed their mother, Rhea Silvia. But they chose not to stay. Instead, they set out to found a new city, on the very spot where the she-wolf had found them. It was a strategic location, surrounded by hills that were easy to defend, right along the Tiber River, at the only natural crossing point, an island. It was also where Latin and Etruscan lands met, and all north-south trade routes passed through. But a conflict arose between the brothers. Who would be king? They agreed to leave the decision to the gods. Remus saw the first omen, 6 vultures. Then Romulus saw 12. Remus argued that the gods chose him because his sign came first. Romulus claimed victory because he saw more birds. Unable to agree, Romulus began building the city himself. In ancient times, this meant drawing a sacred boundary with a bronze plow pulled by an ox and a cow. The earth from the trench had to fall inward, so wealth would flow into the city. Where gates were planned, the plow was lifted and carried. This sacred boundary was called the pomerium, and it was forbidden to cross it with weapons. Romulus began building the wall, but Remus, upset that his brother was getting all the glory, mockingly jumped over the unfinished wall. In a fit of rage, Romulus killed him, declaring, "So shall it be with anyone who dares to cross Rome's borders." The city was named after its founder, Roma, or as we say, Rome, and so the Eternal City was born. There are also 2 lesser-known versions of the story. In one, Rome wasn't founded by Romulus and Remus, but by Aeneas himself. This idea came from a 5th century BC Greek historian named Hellanicus of Lesbos. But even the Romans didn't take that seriously. Troy fell centuries before Rome's founding date. Another legend claims the founder was Evander, a Greek settler from the Peloponnese. His name literally means good man. He supposedly named the city after his hometown, Pallanteum, which later became the name of the Palatine hill. It was there that Evander met Hercules, who was returning to Greece with the cattle of Geryon. Hercules killed a monstrous shepherd named Cacus and set up an altar in his honor. That altar stood for centuries, until it was destroyed in the Great Fire of Rome in AD 64. Today, the Church of Santa Maria in Cosmedin stands where the altar once was, and some say its stones still lie beneath the church. These are the legends of Rome's founding. In a future video, we'll explore which parts are pure myth, and which may have a kernel of historical truth. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like and subscribe. See you in the next episode.